Hi everyone, welcome to another library haul for this week, and these are the books that we got this week, and let me show you them in detail. So for the first book this week we read Press Here, which was a silly book that my kids enjoyed about basically just about buttons, and they had to press them or rub them in some kind of silly way, and things would happen to them, and they thought it was really funny and hilarious. It reminded me sort of like a picture book version of the book with no pictures. But they liked that one. Tiptoe Tapirs were about a mother and child tapir who basically tiptoed throughout the jungle, and they were being chased by a leopard, and of course the leopard is loud chasing after them, and they teach him how to be quiet because of a hunter, and it's basically a story of how the leopard became quiet. Super fun story. A nice little story called South about a bird who is left behind going south and ends up getting helped by this animal. And we went back and forth on what this animal was. We couldn't decide if it was a cat or a dog. So he basically helps the bird find his way. And we saw here that there was a dog and we saw there was a cat, so we still couldn't decide what that was, but some animal helped him. Octa Corn was a fun little story about an Octa Corn, and his parents were a unicorn and an octopus, and then that was him. And it was a fun little story, and I always am a fan of stories that somehow highlight the differences and the similarities between people, and what it's like when people are, or when things come from two different backgrounds, because my children also come from two different backgrounds. So it was a nice story about how he's sad sometimes, but then he finds a way to be happy and accept who he is, and it was nice. The world famous cheese shop break-in. This one was a story about a dad who wants to break into a cheese shop and steal the cheese, and his children are trying to convince him otherwise. And just basically their story on how they try to break in. They end up breaking into the wrong store, and they break into an underwear store instead of a cheese shop. And then they finally convince their dad to open up their own shop and then make money and buy cheese whenever they want to. We found this one. I didn't even know this one existed. Magic School Bus, Miss Frizzle's Adventures in Ancient Egypt. And it went along with our study on Ancient Egypt right now. And so we're always a fan of the Magic School Bus. So we enjoyed finding this one at the library. And it's comic book style, and they're visiting ancient Egypt, but they kind of go back in time, of course, Miss Frizzle style. And they do, I believe, where did they have it? At the back of the book, they did have, could it really happen? They kind of explain things that could and could not happen. And I do always read those to the kids just so they know that, what is actual fact and what is fiction in terms of Magic School Bus. But Magic School Bus is always a favorite for us. We have the great big backyard, and I really liked this one as my children are getting into technology, and so it highlights a little girl who loves technology, and they end up going on a family trip, and all she wants to do is be on her phone or tablet or whatever it is. And she starts, she's like missing out on stuff, but of course it's a good ending, and she ends up completely enjoying herself and putting away her tablet and phone and enjoying the trip around America. And I think in the back, oh yeah, here's their trip that they took. So we talked a little bit about what states they went through and what they might have seen, and how we live in Montana, and they came up to Yellowstone, and we were there recently. So it was a nice book. Bats at the Beach, and we love this one so much. We ended up getting bats at the library, bats at the ball game, and Bats at the Band. So when we go back to the library this week, we'll see if there are any more bat stories, and they're really nice. We love the illustrations and how the story flows, the language used. Very, very nice. And it's always bats on some kind of adventure, and really, really great story. So we will look for more bat stories. Tops and Bottoms, another favorite this week. It's about a hare who he's run out of money. So, and the book is also, it's the other way. Instead of being read this way, it's read top down. So the hare doesn't have any money. So he decides to go up to the lazy bear and he has a business proposition for him, and he's like, hey, if you let me plant in your garden, then I will give you all the tops and you can have the bottoms. And of course he plants all vegetables that are root vegetables. So then Bear gets upset and he's like, you know, the next time I want the bottoms, you get the tops. So then he goes and he plants like broccoli and, you know, all the vegetables that grow on top, and he gives him all the roots. So it's a cute little story, and of course Bear learns his lesson on not being taken advantage of and ends up doing his own planting. But it's a really, really cute story. And then the last one this week was Dad's School, and we all enjoyed this. My husband at first, he walked in on the story and he thought it was like a dad shaming type of book, but it's not. It's a really cute story about what Dad's school must have been like, and how they learned how to make sandwiches with cheese and pickles, and how they learned how to fix things. And it talks about how Dad must have missed the days they taught about matching clothes and cleaning the bathroom. And this is the page my husband walked in on, and he was like, what are you reading to them? So it was super funny. But of course he was the best student at Dad's school. You know, he's his #1 fan. And cute story about dads. And that's our library haul for the week. Thanks for watching.